The topic of this video is called Order of Operations with Whole Numbers Basic. I line up my video, the names of my videos, based on a online math program called Alex. And so if you're tackling this topic and you need a little bit of help, that's why I call it basic. For people that are watching this and don't do Alex, it's basically order of operations with two operations, like two addings, or an adding and a subtraction, or adding and multiplying. And they're possibly could as well be exponents or parentheses. So there won't be more than like 3 or 4 steps total for these. There's one more video I'm creating after this for operations with whole numbers that's more advanced, which will have more grouping symbols and probably more like 5 or 6 steps to do in those cases. So if you feel like this wasn't enough of a challenge, you can look for that video. The only other clarification I want to make about the title is that it says with whole numbers. Whole numbers means you're not dealing with any negative numbers here. Everything will come out to be nice positives. So you don't have to stress about that if you're not quite ready for that sort of a math problem. Alright, so let's just get started by kind of reviewing what the order of operations are. Most of you guys know that it's kind of based on PEMDAS. That's how it's, please excuse my dopey Aunt Sally or whatever it is. The P stands for parentheses. That means that the first thing you want to do is look for parentheses or brackets in a math problem, and you have to take care of those and remove them first. Remove them by doing the operations inside of them. The E stands for exponents, and exponents are the little number that sits like kind of floating above. So that would be your exponent in this case. And what it tells the number to do is to multiply itself twice. So this would be 3 times 3. So 3 squared would be 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. If we had something that was 2 to the third, we would do 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 would give us 8. So that's how the exponents are handled. The next thing in the order of operations is multiplication and division. Just a little pet peeve for me being a math teacher for so long. People see the M in the order first, so they feel like they need to go find all the multiplications, finish those, come back and do all the divisions. That's not true at all. The multiplication and divisions happen, what we say, at the same time, but as you're reading the problem from left to right. So you're ready to do either one of those, and as you read through the problem, whichever pops up first as you're going from left to right, that's what you would do. If a division problem comes first, you would do that. If a multiplication comes first, you would do that. Same thing with adding and subtraction. The A is written first in this little mnemonic device, but the addition doesn't always come first. It depends which one pops up in the problem as you read it from left to right. Alright, I think, I could go on lecturing and blah, 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 but let's just start with some problems. I think that's the best way to kind of get a feel for all the odd things that can happen. Alright, so let's try example 1. Example 1, we'll do 5, and then 3 plus 2 cubed, close parentheses. So the first thing that we have right off the bat, we have parentheses. Alright, and maybe I'll just write this down off the side so I can keep track of where I am. We do have parentheses right off the bat, so I need to look inside the parentheses and say, okay, what is going on in there? We do have an addition sign and we do have an exponent. Okay, so there's 2 things to do. Well, how do I know which one I do first? Do I add first and then cube something? No, I need to follow PEMDAS inside the parentheses as well. So there's almost like a mini little problem here. So when I look inside the parentheses, is there another set of parentheses? No, so I can get rid of that. When I look inside the parentheses, is there an exponent? Yes, so that's what I need to take care of. Alright, so I copy the 5, I open the parentheses, I copy the 3 and the plus, and now I need to think of what 2 cubed is. 2 cubed, well, we just did this on the last slide. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So I'm going to put that up here. Alright, and just to finish up our little mini problem inside, there is no multiplication or division in our parentheses, which is kind of nice. There's only one thing left to do, and it is an addition problem. So that's what we're going to tackle next. 5 times 3 plus 8 gives us 11. Finally, there's only one thing left to do here, and that's just to multiply that and get 55. Alright, so this, as soon as we did the parentheses, all the rest of this stuff resorted just down to here. We had one thing left to do after the parentheses was done. So that's probably why this is called the basic video. The problems aren't super involved. Alright, let's look at another one. Okay, for this one here, 27 plus 9 divided by 3 squared. All right, again, if you're kind of a novice or you're kind of rusty, I would write down this just to kind of remind you the order to do it in. All right, so in our little reminder here, parentheses, are there any parentheses? There are not, so we're done with that. The next one is exponents. There are some exponents, and that's what we need to deal with first. So 27 plus 9 divided by 3 squared is 3 times 3, and that's going to give us 9. All right, our exponents are done now. The next thing we're looking for is multiplication and division, but we're going to do it from left to right. So as I look through the problem, I see a plus right off the bat. I'm going to ignore that, but there is a division sign here. So that's what I need to take care of first. 9 divided by 9, anything divided by itself turns into 1. That's kind of nice. And now we're left with no more multiplication and division, but there is one more addition problem to work on, so we'll just get 28 when we add them. All right, let's try another one. Example 3, let's do 6 times 2 cubed divided by 4. And again, highly encourage people to do this. Keeps you honest. All right, first thing, do we have any parentheses? We do not have any parentheses. Do we have any exponents? We sure do have some exponents, so that's going to be our first thing to tackle. Copy the 6. The dot is multiplication. We can write multiplication with the dot. We can write it like this, which becomes less common as you head towards algebra because the x is used quite often as a variable in algebra. And one other way is you could use it with parentheses, 6 times 3, or 6 times 3, or even 6 times 3. So all three of these ways is also acceptable. So those are the different ways that you can write multiplication. All right, back to our problem. For our exponents, we have 2 cubed. We just did this one. 2 times 2 times 2, we now know is 8 because we've done it like 800 times now. Copying the rest. All right. Now we have multiplication and division. Let me see if I can erase this, get it out of the way. Our multiplication and division from left to right, as we look through the problem, we see that we have multiplication popping up first. 6 times 8, that is going to be 48. And then I know that 48 divided by 4, which is our last step in this problem, will be 12. All right, great. Anytime you're starting to feel like courageous, you want to try a couple of these on your own, what I would do is listen to my voice, write down the problems, hit pause, on your own, and then hit play and see if you got the right answer. All right, example 4. Let's try this guy. 18 minus 3 squared divided by 3. Okay, let's try putting this here before we forget. All right, are there any parentheses in this problem? No, there's no parentheses. All right, do we have any exponents? Yes, we do. So that's what we need to figure out first. 18 minus 3 squared equals 3 times 3. That's 9. Okay, we got our exponents done. Now we're looking for these guys at the same time as we go from left to right. We're ignoring that subtraction sign, so we need to do 9 divided by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. One last step is 18 take away 3, and that will give us 15. All right, I'll do one more. And again, kind of test yourself. Then just write down the problem, hit pause, give it a whirl, and then I will have, then you can hit play and see if we got the same answer. All right, PEMDAS. No parentheses here, so we're good with that. We do have exponents, so 4 squared is not 8, it's 4 times 4, and that will give us 16. So we have 2 plus 16 times 5, so I'm done with my exponents. I'm looking for multiplication and division, which means I need to do this. I think I know the answer, but I don't trust myself. So 5 times 6 is 30, and then 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. So I have 2 plus 80, and that's a nice, thankfully easy addition. There we go. All right, I hope this helped a little bit, and thanks for listening.